my first time I had it in my head that I wanted to fight in mixed martial arts. I mean, I don't know if you guys know, I have a tattoo on my arm that says NHB. People are always like, what the fuck is that? And I kind of always get offended by that because that's what it was called, no holds barred, before mixed martial arts, you know. So that's how long I've been doing it for, you know. And people always think I'm in my 40s or something. You know, I'm like, fuck, do I look that old? But you know, it's because I've been fighting for a while, I guess. But my first fight, you know, there's a show in Phoenix called Rage in the Cage with a crooked ass promoter named Roland Soria. Crooked as a dick, man. He is. I mean, you know, most promoters are, but he is. He's crooked. You know, like I fought because as a professional in Arizona, you have to make a minimum of $35, and I didn't even know I was making that until like my fifth fight, when the box commission gave me a check for like, you know, $300 or something like that. But anyways, my first fight, so I decided I wanted to fight. You know, I contacted him. I asked, you know, can you fight if you're under 18? He said yes, with your parents', you know, signature. And so I kind of like filled out a resume. You know, I'm a, you know, blah 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 time Golden Glove champion. You know, blah blah time state champion wrestler. You know, at that time, you know, I was one-time state champion wrestler at that time, and then I was like, just like, you know, I've been in street fights, so I thought there was some rigorous process I had to go through. So I go down, like I'm in Glendale, like a nice suburb out of Phoenix. I drive all the way to Tempe, and then I get there, and then he looks at me, and I'm like, he's like, so you want to fight? And I'm like, yeah. So I trained, I grappled in jiu-jitsu, never done jiu-jitsu before, and I got submitted by this guy Edwin Deweese. He's fought in the UFC a couple times. And he was a smaller guy. He submitted me. He didn't submit me a lot, but he submitted me a couple times. Like, what the fuck? And then I didn't know. I took that to that well as well. So he goes. It was a Wednesday. He goes, so you want to fight Friday? I'm like, the fuck? And he goes, yeah, I'll pay for your blood work. You know, everything to get done. And I'm like, well, what do I get paid? And he goes, I'll let you train here for free. And you know, I'll pay for your medicals and stuff. I'm like, okay, you know, because I didn't need money. So I fight a guy named Ryan Roth. Yeah, and I fought him twice actually. Yeah, so I fight him, and because they had a ranking system, he was ranked like number 3 in the heavyweight division, and he was like 6-2. And so I fought in a singlet, wrestling shoes and a singlet. So which I remember this guy Edwin, who I ended up being real close friends with later on in life. He was telling me, because he knew what the gym he trained out of, and he was like, yeah, I'm fighting this, because I remember walking and getting my blood work same time he was. And he was a big guy, you know, kind of built like me. And then he was like, yeah, I'm fighting this 16-year-old kid. I'm like, fucking, he's like almost feeling bad for me. And I'm like, fuck, man, fuck, you dickhead. And then so I go down there, and then my friend Edwin he wasn't my friend then, but he told him he told him that he trained with me, and he goes, the guy's tough. And then we go there, and it was like 22 fucking fights in that night, and my entire high school shows up. I mean, and it was at the Celebrity Theater. It was like almost like a small Roman Coliseum, and I was like, my first fight, they made me the co-main event. It was weird, and it wasn't me, it was him. But like the whole place the roof came off for me because my whole high school went. And like the nerves, I had no nerves, none. And I went out there, and he comes running in, I hit him with a straight left, boom, and he falls to his knees, and I have a whizzer, and I just hip toss him with the whizzer, and then I have him trapped against the cage, and I was like, whap, whap, because I've always been able to posture and punch real hard. And then I postured my leg up because I was throwing punches on my knees, so I popped my leg up, and then I could hear him boom, boom. Then you can feel him going through the ground, and then you can hear him go hit, and then he just goes out, and then they stop it. It was like 25, 30 seconds. It was quick, and then it was a great feeling. I mean, the place went nuts, and I was just like, oh my God, that's so cool, man, that's so cool. And then like I wanted to do it again, and they had fights like every 2 weeks. So my next fight, I fought this guy named, his nickname was Big Dog. Big Dog. He was 400 pounds, and he came running at me again. Left hand, boom, he falls to his knees, and from wrestling, I spin around like wrestling. I'm just hitting him in the head, boom, boom, until he falls his face first, and then I'm like, bah, like one again, like 20 seconds. And then my third fight, this guy comes out with a gi. And both, I mean, first guy's record was like 6-2. Next guy's record was like 8-3. I mean, so all around the same thing. And then this other guy, I guess he was like 6-5, but he had fought in good guys apparently. Came out in a gi, which I was like, what the fuck? That's weird. So I remember taking that gi and just fucking beating the fuck like hockey and style on him. And then because they were trying to teach me how to kick. I threw a kick and landed on my fucking head, and I ended up getting up and just beating the shit out of him. It didn't last too long, and so this guy Edwin, they would make him the main event, and he would always fight shitbird guys like 2-4 records, and like he made it to the UFC with a record of like 27-2, but he had never fought outside of Arizona. Never, like he had fought one guy with a winning record. Like this guy Roland tried to, like he fought Rich Franklin his first fight and just got annihilated, you know. And Rich ends up being one of my closest friends as well. But so I fought this guy. His name was Joe Pardo, and he had fought Brad Kohler in the UFC, and knocked Brad Kohler out, and he fought Mike Van Arsdale in the UFC. And beat Mike Van Arsdale, and lost to somebody. Anyway, so, but I remember, I was nervous for this fight. He was a fucking man. He was like, his record was like 9-2. He was a Gracie Jiu-Jitsu black belt, and he was a boxer. And I was like, fuck. I'm like, what the fuck? I think I was 17 at this time. I'm like, what the fuck am I doing fighting this? And then, and so he comes. He's like 6'3" and just chiseled. And I'm like, because I started losing weight. I think I was like 240 then, and because I lost weight fast. And then, you know, I didn't have a six pack. I wasn't fat. Actually, I fought in tights, you know. But the guy. I mean, I've been boxing for years. I've always been a big stickler of keeping my foot outside, and I kept throwing an offhand left when I just dipped my head to the outside and throw my left hand. And he just kept landing, boom, boom, and then I'd pick him up, slam him, and he's a jiu-jitsu black belt. But fucking, that's when I realized that I didn't care if I sat in someone's guard or passed it or not, because I couldn't pass his guard, you know, because I didn't know much jiu-jitsu. But I liked sitting in someone's guard and pound him out, you know, because he would throw up something, I would just just bam, bam, just land big shots on him, and then he would, you know, he ended up going to decision, but I beat the fuck out of him, you know, and it's a good feeling because I was like, I beat someone that was in the UFC. That was like when it was I always thought I was going to fight in the UFC. I just, you know, the realization of that, you know, I fought a guy who had been successful in the UFC. I'm like, fuck, okay, you know, I can do. I'm a kid and I'm beating these guys, so. I'm like, sky's the limit. So that was a good feeling. Good night.